Whitney Cole, come to die. Hi, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today we're live here at VidCon talking with the co-creators of Studio C, Jared Shores and Matt Meese. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
How did you guys get this job? Let me ask Jared first.
Luck, a lot of luck, maybe a little bit of prayer. I don't know.
Yeah, in that order. I came to Jared, I don't know, 3 years ago.
Many years.
It was a year before we even got started, and I said, hey, we do this sketch comedy thing at the college, and you should come check it out. So I gave him some tickets and thought, we could probably do this for TV if we just put cameras in front of it, and then maybe some money.
So you guys have a huge cult following. Studio C is amazingly popular, but for those who have not seen the show yet, describe it. What is it?
It's the sketch comedy. We do a multi-camera setup in front of a live studio audience, in front of about just over 200 people.
So it's like an SNL.
It's an SNL.
Yep.
Yeah, we're SNL that families can watch together, I guess is the way that we
It's a
kind of
cleaner
describe it.
version.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
And hopefully sometimes funnier, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We think so.
Yeah. It's a matter of opinion, but that is our opinion.
So, Matt, you got some popular characters. People who watch the show, they're content creators. They want to know, how to write and develop the stuff. You're doing a lot of writing. You're doing the acting. Jared, you're directing and producing.
Right.
Give some advice to content creators who maybe are starting their own YouTube channel. Maybe they're interested in sketch comedy, or how do you get started? What do you do first?
Well, for us, a big part of it is collaboration. Having people to bounce ideas off of, back and forth. We do, as far as like writing content, creation stuff. We do some improv.
Did you guys go to improv school, or like what kind of training did you guys have?
It's been a variety. We've trained in a couple of places, honestly. We went to IO West in LA, and we went to Second City in Chicago, and we did some stuff in New York too. But that was just kind of like, it just kind of happened that way, and we actually were in the right place at the right time when it was time to do a show.
Being funny's on my bucket list. Have I got a shot?
I'm sure you do. Everyone does.
Definitely. Really, I mean, a great segue for that is that, I think what we find the most funny is just taking an everyday situation and exaggerating it to show the ridiculousness of everyday life, right? And as we found the most success is we're able to relate to people and for them to relate to us and be like, oh my goodness, I've totally been there.
Yeah.
Someone has totally done that to me.
It's observational.
Yeah, this last season, we just finished our 4th season, and we had a sketch about the truth of long distance running. It was a little fake, like Dateline piece, looking at the dangers of distance running and how parents should warn their kids about it, and people. The running community just picked it up and just loved it. They're like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing. And so we're able to find success within these strange niches sometimes that even we don't even think about. We're just like, several of us in the writers group are runners, and a couple in particular. So they thought, it'd be funny to make fun of how trendy running is and this whole running idea. Let's just do that, and the community really responded well with it.
Yeah. So you talked about collaboration. So how many are in your group? You have like a writing team, and walk us through the process.
Yeah.
We've got a in-house writing team. A lot of the cast does a lot of the writing, and then we've got a couple of people that aren't in the cast, but they still contribute to the writing process. And then we even have some that like send in stuff from like.
So we average about 6 people in our room at a given time. I mean, and then through myself, and I have a line producer that joins us for the meetings to help talk everyone off of the cloud and saying we probably can't shoot everything underwater in this sketch or something.
Which has happened, but
So we have about 6, and then I'll sit in and Matt and I will discuss and approve scripts for various reasons of why we can or can't do something, and then kind of run with it from there. We're kind of a pretty small, self-contained unit for the most part.
Yeah. And how long before? So you write something, and then how long does it take to sort of produce the whole thing until it's shot and done?
Yeah, it varies in a sense that we're kind of always in a couple processes for us. We're in a pre-production, production, and post, just like most people. So 2 are always overlapping. We're always typically, if we're writing, we're probably also producing. Producing the whole thing. As we're producing, then we're also on top of that. We'll be editing. As we're finishing up our edits, we start writing the new stuff.
Yeah.
And so we try to create a big well of content as far as our writing stuff as much as we can. But even right now, we'll start filming really heavily later in July, and we'll be wrapping up our writing just past that. This season we're trying to wrap up writing before so we can focus just on production, but we're always editing, we're always tweaking, and then as soon as we start shooting, we'll film all the way through September, so we've got 3 months of production that will also be editing. As soon as I have material to edit, my editing team is just churning stuff out.
So we're at the mecca of YouTube. How important has digital or YouTube become to you guys?
Huge.
And how are you using it?
Huge.
I'd say we're probably bigger online than we are just on the channel itself.
Yeah.
And sketch comedy is really good for YouTube because it's in these like very compact 3 to 5 minute things, sometimes less, and that works really well.
So have you tested long form versus short form? And
we haven't really tested a lot of long form just because we don't have a lot of longer sketches. But we haven't really noticed a dip in views for like longer things.
We talked about in the past of doing a full half hour.
Yeah, like string episodes or sketches together into.
And we do that. We have a couple different formats where if you go to our website on bytv.org/Studio C, you can watch a full half hour episode, which we've compiled in an SNL style. Or we take everything that we do and then put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So our audiences we have two kind of separate, even online audiences. Those that go watch a full episode, and those that want just like, I want that one and that one and that one.
Yeah. And what do you think the guys that are watching the smaller segments, so it's shareable, more bite size, or?
And I think it's way that we've noticed that especially on our YouTube channel we skew younger and more female, and so I think what's happening is that the younger audience is going to YouTube already. So we're kind of it's not that they're already consuming media there.
Yeah.
And as we go to where they are, I think we'll have a natural explosion with them.
Yeah.
And
so it's like foot traffic. You're there.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
It's location.
Yeah.
When we go to bwtv.org, we're seeing a lot more families. We see a lot more multi-eyes instead of single eyes watching that want to sit down and watch it more traditionally and be like, well, yeah, entertain me for half an hour. I want to sit back, use an over-top device, Roku device that we're on, or iOS device, and consume it that way.
Yeah. Matt, who's your favorite cast member? No, that's not a fair question. Maybe
We'll
it
do a
is.
take where I say each different cast member.
There you go.
I think there's this kind of battle going on, and I don't know if there'll ever be a resolve, but there's sort of the whole Hollywood crowd that's very much determined to keep traditional, right? And then there's the innovators. And we even look like people like Ben Stiller, who have done a lot of great things, now branching off and doing things on the web. You've got Will Ferrell, Zach Galifianakis, and everyone who's doing everything with comedy.
Right.
What's your feeling about doing stuff on the web and keeping it on the web?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're doing it backwards. You started with cable, and now you're gravitating towards the
It
web.
just happens to work well for the web.
Does it feel like it has the same value to you, your viewers? I mean, is that where you want to be?
Yeah, we love online. I think that's what's driven a lot of the success of the show is because like that's how people are sharing it, that's how they're talking about it. So like a lot of the way that the show has grown has been word of mouth. And so that's always the kind of growth that you want.
Yeah, and I don't think that our younger audience doesn't have the same stigma that a traditional audience does. My parents, I try to explain to them even what YouTube is, and they go on there and they're just like, I'm kind of overwhelmed. Where do I go? What do I do?
It is hard to find what you want, right?
It is.
It needs to be like playlists and genres
And your subscriptions and what's popular, what's trending, and it's. But you talk to a 11-year-old or a 14-year-old, and it's home.
They got it.
They know it. And as that generation continues to grow, Hollywood will continue to try to feed stuff that they want to feed, I think.
Yeah.
When teens will say, well, if you won't provide it, we will. And that's exactly what's happening on YouTube, is saying, you're not providing stuff for us, so we look to each other to provide it. And someone definitely will.
Yeah. So what else are you guys working on?
Oh man. Well, right now we're just about to start production for season 5, which will air in October, and then we'll continue after that. But we've been talking about how to use online more, maybe putting up some online exclusive content, that isn't going to be shown on the channel. It's just lives online.
Are you concerned about subscriptions and views? And if so, like how are you getting people to smash the button or share the content?
About premium stuff.
Well, whether it's premium or just the stuff that you're putting out there, everyone sort of measures the value by subscriptions or views, right?
Yeah.
So how do you encourage people to share the content? Or
Yeah,
are you focused on
engagement
that, the
stuff.
marketing of it?
Yeah, it's tricky. You know, for us, we're still in the phase of experimentation where we don't have like, oh, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
This is the. It's so with every video we're like, man, what should we do with this one? Because with sketch comedy, every sketch is so different from the last for the most part, and from topic to style to whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
And how do we take that and make sure that the audience that would resonate with that, where are they? How do we talk to them? And so, as we reinvent each sketch, it's almost we have to reinvent how to market it. Well, you know, I wouldn't shoot a horror comedy spoof the same way that I shoot a Western. You know, those two genres are very different in the same way that I can't always necessarily market them
Although,
the same
did
way.
you see Aliens and Cowboys?
Okay,
Cowboys
true.
and Aliens? Yeah.
Got me there.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
So we've kind of had to take that marketing approach of also thinking, well, where are these people? So that's why we found ourselves going to places like Comic-Con and talking to people at Comic-Con and saying, hey, yeah, we're sketch comedy, but we make fun of, we do parody of Lord of the Rings and of Star Wars and have these big character pieces. And then we'll go to other family conventions because families watch us. And
Yeah, we've got
we're
a
still
very
figuring it
eclectic
out.
group
I don't know
of fans. Yeah.
I don't know that we ever will be like, man, we got it.
So SNL does a lot of collaboration. They have guest cameos and stars.
Yeah.
Who are
Yeah.
some of your dream guests? Who would you like to work with on
man.
Studio C?
I would love to have Robert Downey Jr. just come.
Right here.
What? Oh yeah, Robert.
He watches
if you're
the show
listening
religiously.
to this,
We
come
call
be
him
with us.
Bobby Downey.
Yeah, Bobby.
Bobby Downey. Bobby Downey Jr. Yeah.
Just Junior sometimes.
Yeah.
JR, you and me.
I mean, we do kind of have like, and then people like Bill Cosby or Jack Black or just Christopher Walken. We've talked about. We'd love
Yeah,
to
we'd
have.
love to do some with Christopher Walken. And even exploiting the format with other YouTube fans, YouTubers that were Rick fans. Rhett and Link, we're huge fans of Rhett and Link, and what they do, they're just fantastic. And there's a handful of other YouTubers that we know and would love to collaborate at some point. This season we're in conversation with a handful of people, and we'll see. You never know how stuff pans out with schedules and stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, you're both very creative. Do you consider yourself entrepreneurs?
Ish.
Yeah, not in the world, the way that the business world maybe says it, but I often talk even with my wife about the fact of like, this is like it really is a small business where I lead the ship, and we have a president that helps oversee the operation, and we have a whole financial group in this, and we've got the creators of the product, which is the comedy, and people making sure it's executed and delivered right, and it's the whole kit and caboodle, really.
Yeah. And you can easily see how like we could take this same group of people and all this talent that they've got and do other things with it. So it kind of inspires you, I guess. Not that I came into it thinking, oh, what are all the ideas we could do based off of this, but you just start to get them.
Yeah.
What mistakes have you guys made, to really get it figured out? I mean, you really have it dialed now.
Huge mistakes.
We don't even have it done. Every day I'm like, I sure hope this works. I don't know. Even like I'm thinking this season we're going to try doing our version of some cartoon graphic stuff.
Yeah.
We're playing with doing an operetta, which is 3 songs stacked together. Like, is that going to work, or are people going to hate it? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I asked that because a lot of people who set out to do something, they feel like they got one shot to do it. They almost like spend the whole wad, and it's like, and then it falls flat, and then they quit.
Sure.
Like, how long do you give a great idea, or what you think is a great idea, before you give up on it? Like, are there scripts or ideas or characters that you love that you're fighting for?
When a script is presented in the writer's room, that's usually like that's the make or break time, and if they're not laughing, then it probably dies right there on the floor. But
like your character, the good angel, the bad angel.
Yeah, shoulder angel. Yeah.
I mean, was that easy to convince people, or was that?
It was. It was alright. It was easier. Yeah, like I remember the very first people I ever showed it to, they were like, meh. But I was like, that's fine. It's not for you.
Sounds interesting. Show us how it works. And
Yeah, because it is very visual. Like the funny really isn't so much in the script; it's what is written in the stage direction.
You gotta see it. And I think it's the same way.
Surprisingly strong and wiry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Like a Cirque du Soleil star or something.
Yeah. Well, it's harder for the guys that I'm climbing. That's what I tell people. It's like they're the ones that do the
training,
work.
like-
I just
Back braces,
Push-ups or
it's pull-ups actually. If you do enough pull-ups, I think you could be a shoulder angel.
Really?
That's the trick.
it's good to know.
I think going with that, on the creative side, I'd say even on the production side is trying to think about sometimes what constitutes a good idea and when is a bad idea that you have to give up, because initially even great ideas are met with the same opposition that bad ideas are met with.
Yeah.
And I've always played what I call like the window or door strategy. Like if I go down one road and there's no doors or windows opening, then maybe it's just a bad idea and I should just let it go.
Yeah.
But if another door opens and someone else says, hey, maybe that's a good idea, then I'm just like, well, okay, I'll pursue it a little bit more. Or sometimes I pursue it until I feel like, man, I'm just running too many walls. It's just fate and the universe telling me, just let it rest, maybe visit later.
Yeah.
But,
and it's tricky because, even the show itself, when we first started, no one really at the network except for me and Jared were like, yeah, this is going to be a great idea. They were like, no, this is not going to work.
Yeah, we just had like a little window where they're like, well, okay, we'll give you this much. We're like, okay, there's a window. We'll take it. And that door is open more and more for us that we continue to go back and they're like, I don't know about that one. And I'm like, good, that means we're doing something right.
Yeah. We're trying new things, which you really have to do, I think, for sketch comedy especially. It's just, it always has to be something different.
Totally.
Fresh, exactly.
And I think not even just for our audience, but also for us. Like, we don't want to keep doing the same thing and be like, oh, well, we'll go rewrite that sketch with one new character every time, or and instead we think, well, what do we find funny? And what do we enjoy? That's what got us to where we are, is doing stuff that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And if we ever stopped doing that, then we'd be doing it for the wrong reasons. And we should be like, nah, this is boring.
Well, we've been spending a few minutes with the co-creators of Studio C, Jared Shores and Matt Meese. Guys, you guys are crushing it.
Thank you.
Much continued success.
Appreciate it. Same to you.
Behind the Brand features the people who are making things happen. Get the insight to grow your biz from experts who've done it. Get behind the
I go down, I'm like, oh my God.
And I say, I'm so sorry, Forgive me now. I say,
Come here, and you lean in.
I lean in.
Bang.
All right, that's the answer.
And I cover your body, and I call for help. And they're like, where's Keckner? I'm like, I don't know, I didn't see him.